Tonight on Task Force Geek, we're going to be talking about the big DC Fandome event with breakdowns of the Batman, Gotham Knights, Wonder Woman 1984, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and the Snyder Cut. And we have a few surprises for you too, and that's all coming up now. Welcome to Task Force Geek. My name is Dirk Hooper, and I am joined today by Scott.
Howdy.
And Shawn.
Yo.
And regular contributor CaseyJane, also known as Little Miss Fury.
Hello.
How is everyone doing today?
Wonderful. And yourself?
I'm doing dandy.
I'm fabulous.
Aren't you always?
I had ice cream for dinner. How can I not be fabulous?
Dude,
A man of culture right there.
dude, I can't believe you told everyone that you just had ice cream for dinner. That is obtuse.
Yeah, it's wrong, that's for sure.
All right, all the stories or questions that we're talking about tonight were shared on the Task Force Geek Quora group, and that's right there. And on the Task Force Geek Quora, on the Task Force Geek Facebook group, there it is right there. It's really lots of stuff happening on there. If you're not on there, please join us on there. There's a lot of activity. It's really cool. We are broadcasting live from my Facebook account. That's it right there. And we're broadcasting from Twitch for the second time ever. How cool is that, right? And for the 4 people in attendance and the dozens and dozens of people around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for our new YouTube channel link. How about that?
Hey.
We did it.
They did it.
Yeah, you guys did it. Thank you very much, sincerely, for chiming in and subscribing to the channel and getting us to our own unique URL. That's pretty cool. Does anyone have anything to say about that? Or
I'm just really happy it happened, man. We noticed a big spike in like views. I think it was Friday. I contacted you and I was like, what is going on? And then we saw the subscribers going up and we got excited. Yep. And you were like, we're so close. And I was like, it's going to happen before Sunday. And boom.
Yeah, I begged on the Facebook group, like, hey, we are this close. Let's get it.
Please.
Let's get it. And since then we've gained a few more. It's never too many. So that's not the end. Please give us some more subscribes. Get over there, please. Before we get out to the other we already have comments. Look at this. Hey, we got our buddy Walt.
Hey, Walt.
He's watching. That's good because we're going to be talking a lot of DC stuff. Betty says hello.
I'm up.
And right. Yeah, that's going to be a lot better on those Gran Turismo cars than whatever that jumbly mess was that we used to have. What a mess. Holy cats. All right. We're looking for guests for Task Force Geek, either for an interview or to join us on the show. You can get in touch with us at taskforcegeek@gmail.com. And I guess that's about all we've got here. Let's get started with our Red Alert. All right. Well, we're going to talk DC Fandome tonight. That happened on Saturday. It happened all day long. They had all kinds of events and information and stuff. This event, in comparison to Marvel's event and to even Comic-Con, was actually pretty interesting, I think. At the end of this, we're going to go ahead and talk about that. But first, we're going to talk about The Batman, because we finally got a trailer for that. And why not? We're going to show a little cut from that right now.
The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
Hey.
How about that?
It looks so good.
We got some video.
Yeah.
So I can just say, what are your thoughts about this Batman teaser? Who wants to go first?
Any of us. You pick.
We're going to CaseyJane.
Oh, hello. I'm personally very excited about it. If anyone knows me, I don't really watch any DC. I'm just working my way up Marvel right now. So we'll get to DC afterwards. But seeing this trailer, I'm so excited. I might be a little biased because it's Robert Pattinson, and I love him. I just finished reading Midnight Sun, reading about him being a sparkly vampire, but he's Batman now, and I just think the whole thing looks cool, and I'm definitely going to be seeing it.
Well, you are, you're younger than us and a woman. So what do you think about, what's your thoughts on Robert Pattinson as Batman?
I think it's going to be great, personally.
Is it hot to see him in the outfit?
I mean, yes, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
That's what
I'm talking about, like, general overall, though, I think it's going to be good. But I am also very biased, so keeping that out there.
You're biased because you're a fan of his?
Yes.
Are you a fan of his from Twilight, or are you a fan of his from the stuff that he's done? Because he's done some pretty weird stuff over the last, 5 years.
I mean, it started with Twilight. So, and also like a little Harry Potter, but let's be honest, mostly Twilight. But, so I've been just a fan of him since then. And when it got announced that he was going to be Batman, that's cool. So I'm very excited to see it.
That's cool. Ronnie, what is Ronnie saying? Ronnie says he's watching. Ronnie is watching.
Is he talking in third person now?
He says, yes. He says, can Scott give any advice on a family game that is great for 75-year-olds?
Yes, Ronnie, I can, because I have proof of this, and we'll talk later.
Really? Wow.
Sure.
Scott with the win.
Yeah.
Coming in clutch.
Says, as much as I'm tired of Batman movies, he will go see this one. Gary, who had pretty much the same reaction I think that I did, is chiming in and saying, looks like Batman with a 7 vibe. That's interesting that you should mention that, because that's one of my points.
Like the movie 7?
Yes. David Fincher. I think that the movie looks a lot like David Fincher, which is, that's pretty cool. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Jennifer says she loves Robert Pattinson, but I'm not impressed with the trailer. She is not sold on it.
Wow. That's shocking.
So let's go to Scott.
I didn't watch any of this fandom stuff until an hour or so before we were scheduled to do this show. So all you guys have been going crazy and like you're just seeing the Hardy Boys for the first time and you're a 12-year-old girl. So you guys are all been going nuts, and
dude, no one knows what the Hardy Boys is anymore.
It's an old WWE tag team.
I don't need that disrespect, first of all.
You screamed, though, didn't you, when you were a little girl? Because you were doing your dances. Anyway, if you ever went to a live event, you know what I'm talking about. That was the audience for the young girls was the Hardy Boys. Anyways, that's how they sold T-shirts. You guys went crazy all weekend over this thing, and after seeing the trailer,
so did the internet.
I know. After seeing the trailer, I can see why. I mean, Robert Pattinson doesn't feel like Robert Pattinson. I forgot or even only knew he was Robert Pattinson because you guys kept telling me he was Robert Pattinson. He did not look like, was it Edward or Squidward or whatever
his name was Edward Cullen.
Oh, I'm a vampire. Oh, Jesus. I'm kind of goth.
We're gonna have words after this. Wow.
Thank God for Edward. I'm going to call him Edward. Thank God for Edward that he got a different role, so people will forget the shiny vampire movies. And it looked good, right? I mean, it looked grim and dark and dirty. And
that's what I thought, Gary.
Did we see what he say?
He says he thought that you meant the Detective Brothers.
Me too. Me too.
I'm not as old as you guys are.
Yeah.
In the trailer, did we see? Sure. Did we see an African American Jim Gordon? Is that correct?
Yes, we did.
Okay, I thought that was a good,
That is Jeffrey Wright from Westworld.
Oh, it's what now?
Jeffrey Wright from Westworld. Okay,
I haven't watched that. Anyways, I thought that was a
very talented actor.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool move. I mean
he's going to be
grim. It's dark. It's grim, dark, and dirty, like all Batman movies are, and we're all going to go see it. And I'm kind of in that phase right now where I'm kind of a little Batmaned out. I even said that in my Prime review, but it looks good. It looks good. It's going to make a lot of money, and DC desperately needs a hit. They need a win in their side, and I hope this gives it to them. So,
right, good stuff, Shawn. What do you think?
Well, as far as the needing a hit to any of their franchises. Joker, all on its own, banked $1 billion.
Aquaman
Sure,
did well,
but it
too.
wasn't. It
Aquaman
really wasn't a
banked
super
$1 billion.
villain. It really wasn't a
No.
super villain movie, though. I
It's-
mean, it was not superheroes.
But I'm saying it's just a movie with
Okay.
these characters. This particular Batman, it's in its own universe. It's not tied to anything else in the DC cinematic universe. So it is its own animal.
Yeah, before you go past that, since you brought it up,
You
let's
meant the that's
since you bring that up, let's talk about that for a minute. They just confirmed that this is not the new Batman in the DCEU.
right.
This is just like Joker. This is in yet another universe.
I do wonder if he will reprise the role of this character in Flashpoint with all of the other
I mean,
Batman. That would be interesting.
I think that's almost definite.
But beyond that, it definitely does have a very Seven movie vibe to it. It's obviously this is a detective story. It is going to be primarily a detective story. They're trying to get away from the just punching and bashing superhero. So, rock on. I'm still not convinced about Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. As I've said before, anybody can be Batman. Anybody. It doesn't matter. It's primarily a stuntman anyway. It doesn't matter. With the cowl on the head, it doesn't matter. What we need is a good Bruce Wayne. I still hold that Ben Affleck is by far my favorite Bruce Wayne ever.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what Pattinson can bring to this to that character to kind of make it his own and what he can bring to the table.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I'm thinking about actually coming out with like a video where I kind of break this down because I dig this sort of stuff. But basically, this trailer has all the major players. You see Catwoman in it. You see the new Penguin in that, which is an unrecognizable Colin Farrell. You see the new Jim Gordon. You see the look of this thing. You are going to get a detective Batman. You're also going to get a younger, more inexperienced Batman, a Batman who hasn't established his reputation yet, which is, I think, very interesting. The director here is Matt Reeves. I haven't been particularly blown away with anything that Matt Reeves has done up to this point. He's mostly known for doing the Planet of the Apes films. So I think that's, he obviously could do a tentpole film. But this is kind of on another level. And I have some theories on that, but I'm not going to go into why that's the case here. I think this looks like David Fincher. We've mentioned it 2 or 3 times. Like Zodiac, if you've seen Zodiac, it definitely has that look to it. That's pretty cool. I like that. I think that this is a pretty good looking Batman. I mean, the suit is sleek and looks like obviously built for a little bit of action, a little different than Affleck's kind of armored suit where he looks like a tank. This Batman looks faster and, more agile.
So you find Robert Pattinson attractive?
I think that, speaking about Robert Pattinson, that I think he pulled off the look. I mean, he's an older guy now. I mean, this wouldn't have worked 5 years ago, but now he's a little older. He's playing an earlier Batman, and I think I'm convinced. I'm pretty happy with the way he looks.
I am too.
And I think if you look at Casey Jane's reaction to this, that you're probably going to have the theater filled not just with guys who want to see Batman beat people up, but you're going to have it filled with women who want to see Robert Pattinson. It's a bad strategy.
It's a perfect couples movie. He gets to watch it. She gets to look at Robert Pattinson. What more can you ask for?
There it is.
A decent story.
All right. You know
we
what?
Might actually get a decent story here. We're basically getting...
I have to concede, if all the rumors are correct, what they're basing this movie on, this is going to be a fantastic story.
It's interesting that
was the villain that we were seeing Hush?
No.
No. Okay, that's good.
No,
because that was my first guess.
The Riddler is one of the major villains and the one who's creating the mystery that Batman is trying to solve. You also have the origin stories of Penguin and Catwoman and maybe a few people. Someone's mentioned that the Court of Owls is involved in this, which is super cool if that's the case, because I really dig them.
In fact, if you look at Pattinson's armor, it is very reminiscent of the Court of Owls. The spikes on his forearm, the way the armor plating is cut on his body and his arms and whatnot that you can see. There's some rumor that as this progresses, we possibly will find that the Waynes, not Bruce, but the Waynes were actually members of the Court of Owls, and so that's going to add to the prolonged story, the overarching story to these films. So
I think that's pretty cool.
Rock and roll.
Gary's mentioning one of the films that I was talking about when I said the sort of films that Pattinson has done over the last few years, which is The Lighthouse, which I haven't seen. I really want to see it. I know that it's black and white and weird, which sounds great to me, actually. And Walt says he's looking forward to the detective aspect. We've never seen that in films. We've never seen him be the Dark Knight detective, so that is also very cool.
In The Dark Knight, they tried to put a bit of that, but they did. They really relied on the action to push that movie, so we didn't get as much as we should.
Nothing's wrong with that. I'm pretty excited about maybe getting some detective work, and I think that according to what Matt Reeves says, we're going to get a little bit of a character study, not just of Batman and Bruce Wayne, but all of these characters. He's going to, make them at the beginning of their careers and maybe a little bit more raw and maybe not as, fully realized and stuff. I think it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good. All right, let's go to our next deal, which is Gotham Knights. And once again, I have a real quick clip.
Ooh, man, we are getting fancy.
All right, there we go. Basically, this thing. First off, let me ask: who has played the Arkham Asylum games out of all of us here?
I've watched somebody play it, so I have not.
All right, I have played it as well. Let's go to CaseyJane again.
So I've never played any of these games. And to be honest, I didn't even know who half of these characters were until my boyfriend explained it to me when he was watching the trailer with me. I didn't know there was a woman. It's fine. But so I'm going to speak on graphics point from what I've seen, and
sure.
I think it looks good. It's definitely going to be next gen, right? Because it says it's coming out in 2021.
Right.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be next gen, which that's exciting. But so I can only speak on graphics wise, and I think the game looks pretty solid from what we've seen so far. Sorry,
Very
I'm not
cool.
much help when it comes to
No, that's okay. Scott, what do you say?
I'm also the guy who doesn't play a lot of video games, but I looked at it, I was impressed, and as I'm watching it, of course, I'm sitting here going like, why can't you find time to play video games? And I just don't. But I will probably, if you or Shawn get this game and you want to play it, I'll probably, I'm glad to sit around and watch you guys play this. I mean, I watch the people do the Arkham games and stuff like that. They're awesome to look at. My only problem with a lot of video games is they can make impressive trailers, and then once you buy the game, you might be getting something different. And as long as the game you get is very similar to the trailer, then I'm usually happy. But believe it or not, over the last couple of years, I've bought a few video games thinking I would play a lot based off the trailer, and then of course I buy them and they just sit there.
Right, this is not gameplay, so.
Right, and so that's the only thing that I'm always hesitant about when I see these beautiful game. They're basically digital movies, and then the gameplay's a lot different, and so I just say buyer beware if you're really excited about it. I wouldn't pre-order this thing until you get to see some of the gameplay. I mean, to me, video games and board games are very similar in that you should probably take a few minutes, do some research before you just snag something for $50, $60, $70 and take it home expecting it to be great. So do your research.
Let's get a few comments out here. We have someone who's chiming in again from Twitch.
Hey, hello.
I don't know how to put that up there. I don't know how to pronounce that.
That is Raj Udo Uther. That's Raja Thor. That's Raju Thor.
All right.
Raju Thor.
Okay. Jennifer says
that's Jennifer Bowen. No.
You better get that one right.
Yeah.
She says she'd play it. Gary says he's ready to buy it.
Wow. Well, he's rich. He can.
And also our Twitch friend says the girl is beautiful. How about that?
Thank you. Aww. They're talking about you, Scott.
I know. I'm such a pretty girl. I've always been double pretty.
Ronnie says it looks great, but Wilson tainted me. So if it's not Skyrim, it sucks.
Wow. Ronnie's one of those guys.
Ronnie only likes Skyrim.
That really fits Ronnie, right? From what I know.
Absolutely, 100%.
He likes to live in that world where he can carve out an axe out of rock and then kill things.
Oh, wow. You really have nailed it.
Yep.
Oh, that's Minecraft.
It's also Skyrim. Skyrim, all you say is this.
Shawn, we're going to go to you, buddy.
The video that you showed was a cinematic trailer, but they did release gameplay trailer.
They did,
along with it, and the gameplay looks phenomenal.
It really does.
It obviously the gameplay is pretty much identical to the previous versions, the previous episodes, if you will, of the Arkham series, which I've played them all and I've had a blast with them. They've just been a lot of fun to play. So I anticipate this will be, right along with that. I'm glad to see the characters. I'm not 100% sure about the story that was revealed thus far, and I'm real curious what obviously what direction they're going to take that. That's going to be a real nail biter, I believe. But
it's overall, a swerve. It's a swerve, Shawn.
Oh, I'm sure. I have no doubt. But again, it's good. Again, I'm real curious how they're going to, put that all together.
Do we not want to talk about that story? Are we too scared to spoil it for people, even though the trailer's out?
No, I mean the trailer's out. It starts off with
spoiler warning. There you go. You're safe.
All right, thanks. Spoiler warning. In the trailer, they start off with Bruce Wayne sending out a message to all of his little underlings, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Robin, the Red Hood, that if you're seeing this message, I said Nightwing.
Okay.
That if you're seeing this message, that he's dead, Bruce is dead, Batman is no more. Therefore, now you have to take up the mantle of
Jim Gordon.
And that's right.
That's right. Jim Gordon was in there.
So they have to take up the mantle of the Batman and find out what's going on. So instead of playing Batman, now you're playing, one of the other characters, and that's interesting. I'm real curious, like I said, how they're going to develop that story. Do I believe that Batman is actually dead? No,
they're not going to kill the golden cow.
Right. So again, I'm real curious.
It makes for a good story.
How that story is going to develop and what the purpose of that swerve is and how that's all going to develop. I'm really excited for it.
Hey, unlike the other two, you have played Arkham Asylum. I know that because I watched you play it. What's your thoughts of Arkham Asylum? The gameplay and stuff on that.
Was that the first one or the last?
It was the first or the second one that you were playing. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. God, they're all just melding into my brain.
Right.
Arkham Asylum. Let's see. I think there was Arkham Asylum. Whichever one it was fantastic. I had a ball.
Yep. All right.
I honestly, I can't remember which one that is.
That's all right, man.
That's a sign that you play these games too much, but that's good.
Way too much. Well, whenever. Okay, I will fully admit there was a sale on it not too long ago, and they had the digital download for all 3. Yeah, four. There were 4 games. They had a digital download for the 3 games, whatever. And I bought it. It was like $10 or something. How can I turn that away? So I just went ahead and got it, and jumped right in and started playing them again. And you would think that you would have to, take a while to get it, use the controls. Jumped right in, everything just right into it. No big deal.
It's a game that you can definitely pick up very quickly, and it's not one of those things where you have to do like these crazy combos to get anything done. I mean, if you just like to button mash, you can go through a whole group of people. If you want to put some blocks or something in there, you can go through the villains and stuff. If you play it on easy, it's just it's a fun game. You get to play Batman and you run around and fight the rogues gallery.
And you forget about the world for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's not being Batman's not so bad. I think that Walt's probably right on this. That you'll probably get to play all of those.
For sure.
Throughout the course of the game. It's possible that you choose one and you do it, but it will probably just be a rotating.
Well,
I think the gameplay trailer that they showed was multiplayer. So you had multiple people playing different characters
at the same time.
I believe
that would be fun too.
That'd be cool.
The gameplay that they showed, I believe, had Robin and it had Batgirl. So I'm thinking it was 2 different people playing one of the characters. If you got 2 more people, you'd throw in Nightwing and you'd throw in Red Hood.
I also thought that it's possible that you could pick a character, you play through it as that main character, and at times, of course, you're going to need help and have to be somebody else for a side mission. But I thought there might be 4 different stories actually. Like if you're one of those people that had to 100% of the game, you have to play as Robin, Red Hood plays Batgirl,
and then you can play. Then you can play through it again, and then get maybe some different storylines.
Ooh,
Cool, that's what I'm saying. Like if you played Robin, he has a story where at times you're going to have to play Nightwing and Red Hood and Batgirl, but it's just a little bit, just enough different, like a choose your own adventure book where you have different paths and stuff. That's what I thought it might be, but you never know on these things. And I'm the last one to tell you what I think it really is going to be because I don't play it.
The only thing I really want to say is that I really like the design for Batgirl. I think it's one of the best costume designs. She has that in that trailer, and then the gameplay that we watched. She has several different outfits, and they're all really cool, I think. I also think that, it's about time that we finally have Batgirl back again. I don't know why we haven't had Batgirl. I know why. It's just I don't know why they didn't retcon that and get her back into the universe.
She's been around for a while. She's been around in the DC universe for a while.
Well, it's
I believe in the games she actually played Oracle. She wasn't playing Batgirl.
Right.
So she was there. In the games, she wasn't there.
You're talking to the wrong guy about Batgirl because I think the transformation they made with Batgirl back from the Killing Joke, I thought her becoming Oracle was like really super powerful because I could go on and on, but I won't.
Any other thoughts on Gotham Knights, folks? I think it looks fun.
Batman's dead, and then he comes back as a sparkly vampire at the end.
Yeah, he could be called. They just call him Eddie.
Wow.
I am Eddie. I sparkle.
Right now.
Good Lord. All right, so up next is the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer, and once again, we have a little piece of that.
Well, now it's my turn. Get used to it.
Ooh.
All right, there you go. I know Scott likes Wonder Woman.
Ooh, she hurts me, man.
We're gonna go to you first, buddy. What do you think about this? We've been seeing trailers for a while.
I thought it was interesting if you watch the trailer enough. I think it's Kristen Wiig. Is that right? Am I saying that right?
That is correct.
Who's playing Cheetah, and I guess she's always played more of a comical character, so it's really weird to see her take on a serious role as a super villain.
Right.
I just adore Gal Gadot. I just think she's just gorgeous and just like a pretty statue, like a piece of art, not like in a weird lustful way. I just think she's nice to look at. And this is like, while CaseyJane can go see the sparkly vampire Batman and take her boyfriend to go watch him kick some butt, I'm going to go watch a beautiful piece of art kick some butt as Wonder Woman, and Jennifer can look at Chris Pine all day long and she can be like, oh, that's Captain Kirk. I love him.
Right. I never heard anyone complain about Chris Pine. So
my only thing, and this is going to sound really weird, I would like, every time I see this 1984 Wonder Woman, I know we're getting nostalgic. We're going back to the 80s. Why didn't they go to the 70s first, since that's when the show, was on? You really could have had a big, I mean, I know at any time they can skip around and they can do a story from the 70s.
I agree with that.
I think it'd been beautiful to do a 70s and 80s and then give us maybe an up-to-date one, because nobody cares about the 90s. We're glad we made it through there. So, grunge music. Yeah. Anyways, I'm excited. I've always been excited. I really enjoyed the very first Wonder Woman movie. I mean, was there a few things wrong with it? Sure. But it was pretty good and solid towards Wonder Woman. Kind of, to me, there's a lot of good in there, just like the very first Iron Man movie was.
Yeah.
It's just good. You can watch it and you smile and you're happy, and or the
first Captain America movie, which was almost
same thing.
It was almost beat per beat, that movie.
In some ways, I mean, it's still a different war. So I mean, there's a lot of different things with that. But yes, I agree. Yeah, it felt a little like that, but it was really enjoyable. So if that's ever on, if I had cable again, I find myself always watching that. So, anyways, I'm excited.
Jennifer says that she'll ogle Gal Gadot too.
Okay, I got it. I get what we're talking about. I can see where we're going with this.
Shawn, you're up.
Unlike Scott,
you don't like Gal Gadot, we know.
I look at Gal Gadot as just a fine woman. I will still stare at her lustfully as often as possible.
She's too beautiful to do that too.
No, she's not.
Oh my gosh, you are a filthy man.
I would lick ice cream off her navel.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, oh yeah. Ooh, wow.
The serious face that went along with
it's Taskforce Geek at night.
At night.
As far as Kristen Wiig, I've seen her do some dramatic stuff, and one thing that I've always held, and I believe Dirk can attest to this, is I have a lot of respect for comedians turned actors.
Yeah.
I believe it might have to do with their timing, having to know their timing to tell certain jokes and whatnot.
Yep.
But comedians, whenever they do shift to dramatic roles, they nail them. They nail them beautifully, and they can pull emotion out of you where a seasoned actor who's never done comedy can't.
Shawn, your mom's watching this, and she does not ever want to hear about you licking ice cream off of any person.
Wow.
She knows me. Whatever.
She's not surprised.
No, she's not surprised.
No, I'm not even going to get into that.
No, don't do that.
But
inside joke.
So
we've known each other too long.
Kristen Wiig taking on a villain role like this, I think it's interesting. It's interesting to cast her because she is so much more well known as a comedian. But I'm willing to bet that she will be the standout in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The only negative I've got just from what I've seen in the trailer is some of that crappy CGI that they used for the previous Wonder Woman. It looks like they're going to do it again. And I'm really, 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 really hoping that, yes, Robin Williams, I'm telling you, whenever these these comedians that get into these roles, they nail them every single time.
Right.
I'm really frightened that the CGI is going to be too distracting and it's going to take the viewer out of the moment. Just based on the trailer, hopefully by the time the movie actually comes out, they'll tweak some stuff, they'll enhance some stuff, they'll tighten a lot of that CGI. But other than that, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing how they bring Steve back and how they're going to save the world in the 80s when I grew up. Right.
No kidding. You kind of took my thunder on the Kristen Wiig thing. I think the thing is that she has done some serious roles. You may not be aware of them. They were not as big a movie, but she's done some serious roles, and she's been lauded for those roles, which is pretty cool. So I think that she's going to be pleasant. I think she's going to pleasantly surprise people with her ability to portray this villain. The action and the comedy looks good. The comedy looks really good, actually. I agree with Scott. I have no idea why they didn't just go to the 70s. You can do the same silly jokes, about, Steve Trevor being out of time or whatever.
Don't you think that probably has to do with the generation that grew up in the 80s or the spending audience right now, maybe more so than the 70s?
Yeah, the 80s are kind of trendy right now. People are kind of into the 80s, so maybe that's why they decided to go with that. I don't know. Maybe
but every boy that grew up in the 70s, their number one sex symbol is Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
And you could almost say that for male or female.
And they could have made a joke about meeting the old Wonder Woman somehow back during the 70s. That would have been pretty cool. I'm not sure exactly why they didn't kind of go for that, but in any case, I tend to agree on the deal. Here's the question that I have. What the heck? It's really Steve Trevor? How is that possible? What is going on there?
I bet they explain it in the movie.
Inquiring minds want to go. I think what I've decided is that I'm just going to go with it. I don't care. I like Chris Pine too, and the jokes are really good. I think it's time to release this thing. We've got some comments here, 150 comments. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
150 comments. Oh my gosh.
Gary says, what about Jim Carrey as the Riddler? Oh.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah. Never mind.
That's called Joel Schumacher.
Now, actually, there's more to that story.
There's a whole story on that recently.
Jim Carrey, whenever Jim Carrey has done, I think I've seen him do 4 different dramas, 4 different serious dramatic roles. And he was amazing, absolutely amazing in those roles. You forget that he's Jim Carrey. You forget that he's been in those comedic movies. So I'm going to cut the band a little bit of a break.
Hi to Scott, who's watching us on YouTube. Thanks for chiming in. Also calls out the first Wonder Woman for weak CGI. I think that was a serious issue. Justice League had that same issue, by the way. Mm-hmm. The Humvees and Wonder Woman 84 trailer. Humvees weren't in service till 85. Oh, historical snap.
Walt, thanks for ruining the movie. Thank you, Walt.
Scott says the ending was too dry. I think that the final battle was really disappointing in that first film. But in an otherwise
flew the plane. Oh wait, how Steve flew the plane. Damn it! Never mind.
Yeah, I just didn't like the fisticuffs between her and the bad guy.
The CGI bad guy?
The CGI bad guy. And they did the thing that I hate, which is putting them in a large arena and then like attacking each other. I don't know. It's just boring. But in an otherwise entertaining and well-developed movie, I think. Walt was a Jamie Summers fan. And Sean says that Jim Carrey can do dramatic roles. So there you go. What about that? Let's go to CaseyJane and talk about Wonder Woman.
I have no opinion on this. We'll cut it.
You have no opinion.
I have no opinion. I know nothing about Wonder Woman. I've seen none of her movies, so I'm sorry. I can't really help for this one.
That's all right. That's okay. All right. Well, we're going back to the group here. And does anyone have anything else they want to mention about Wonder Woman?
At the very least, do you find Christopher Pine attractive?
Yeah.
Okay, see, she'll go
She's
see
good
it.
with that. See,
That was a quick answer.
Let me
done.
finish the Marvel movies first, and then I'll move to DC.
Not
All
a lot
right.
of debate there.
I'm in
Yeah.
phase 2 right now. We're working on it.
All right.
Nice.
My mom is also a big fan of Chris Pine. She likes all the Chris's.
Man, your mom has the hot shorts for Chris Pine too?
She has good taste.
Yes, she's going through. She likes Jeremy Renner, and she likes
Golly, not
she
the
likes-
Hawkeye guy.
and Chris
Ugh.
Pine. She sees every movie those two are in.
Oh my
Jer-
gosh.
Jeremy Renner is a very good actor. He is underappreciated in the Marvel films, and I'm very saddened by how little screen time he's received.
Well, I'm glad he didn't get much because it's Hawkeye.
What's wrong with Hawkeye?
I hate that character.
Clearly,
Next.
Yeah.
Next.
So up next we have the Suicide Squad video game, and as per usual, we have a short clip for that.
I believe I can translate. Boomerang has a concussion from the enemy you missed in our last encounter.
Guess those teeth are sharper than your eyes, Shark Man. I never
You never miss.
Never miss. Yeah, we bloody know. You never shut up about it.
I love that.
So
whole
did
thing-
you
Go ahead.
do y'all know the professional wrestler Samoa Joe? He did the voice for that shark character.
Yeah,
I posted.
That's who it
he
is.
posted something
Oh,
on
was
that.
it you that posted? Nah, okay. Well, you got to be part of the Taskforce Geek Facebook group, and you had already had this knowledge. So I don't know where I read it, but I read it somewhere. So,
It's good stuff. Scott, we're going to you because since you spoke up.
I mean, I saw the trailer. Again, I don't play a lot of these video games. It looks awesome. I mean, the graphics look great, of course, in the trailer, but
Yeah,
what's the gameplay going to be like? I mean, they allude to in the trailer, if you haven't watched it, Superman shows up, and then right before that, Harley says, like, we're supposed to have a big target here, and I don't remember who it is. And then Soup shows up to save somebody, and then they're like, oh, crap, that's who we're supposed to get for Amanda Waller. And since the game is called Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League,
right.
this feels like an old side scroll game where you already know every guy you're going to fight. The very first guy you're going to go fight is like Green Arrow, and you're going to have to hunt Green Arrow down in Star City. And after you defeat him, as you hear the graphics and wear his health down, then you go take on the next hero. And then you're after the Cyborg, and then the next hero is Aquaman with a water level. I really don't know what the gameplay is going to be like. It's probably going to be fun and awesome. It's nice to see a Suicide Squad game because that's a good way to kind of like you're doing kind of heroic things or villain things because somebody else is pulling your strings, because that's the whole idea behind Suicide Squad. So it will probably be a great game, and good on them for doing this. I mean, it's about time they do something like this. I was disappointed because when you sent out the link, I thought this was like the movie that's coming out from James Gunn, and then I was like heavily disappointed when I saw it was a video game. So
Actually, the movie, we are not covering it here. We maybe cover it later, but there was some information on that as well.
okay. Well, anyways,
all right.
I hope you video game guys like it. So it looks cool. So
Well, let's go to Shawn and find out.
One of the things that much like Scott touched on, this is a cinematic trailer, so you have no idea what the game is going to look like.
Right.
Have no idea what the gameplay is. You have no idea how clean the graphics are going to be or what have you. With that said, as far as cinematic trailers go, this was fun. This had me interested, whereas I may not have been as interested in the rumor about the game. This has me a bit more interested in actually seeing, how this is going to develop. I'm curious how, what Brainiac is involved. The trailer opens up on
that's true.
Brainiac
It's got a-
scale in
yeah.
the middle of Metropolis.
I think it's pretty clear that Brainiac is controlling the Justice League, which is pretty
Sure.
cool.
And how that's all going to
That's a pretty great
develop.
storyline idea.
I don't know. I'm really kind of curious to, like I said, to see how this develops, and their characterization of King Shark I think is fantastic.
Oh my God.
I think he looks phenomenal in this.
Dude,
I'm not real big on their characterization of Deadshot, but Harley looks fantastic, and King Shark looked amazing. So
yeah, the King Shark looks really good. The voice fits so good. It makes you go like, maybe I should check this out. But I know I only have a Switch. They're not gonna make this for the Switch, so
it'd still be interesting. When I get it, you're more than welcome to come over and play.
I'll probably watch you because I'm an old man. And that's what I do now.
I'm an older
watch
man,
other people play video games.
Hey, you guys watching me play Rocket League, so I can watch you play this.
I have
Very
watched
true.
you play Rocket League. It's true. All right, CaseyJane.
See, now I was not the biggest fan of Holly in this. I don't know why. I don't know why. And I love
because I know you like her.
I love her, but for some reason I just didn't. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe when the game comes out, I might like her more. But in the trailer, I was not the biggest fan. Oh, hi, Michael.
Oh, there we go. Good.
But yeah, I just wasn't. But the trailer itself, I thought it was hilarious the whole time. Like it kept with like the fun vibe, them kind of just like peckering at each other. Because if you think about it, they're not really there because they want to be. But I don't know. But that was the biggest thing for me is I just didn't like Harley that much.
Wow.
But I was laughing the whole time. So we'll see when the game comes out and we actually see what the gameplay looks like.
Isn't that a good thing that you still liked it and you didn't like Harley Quinn? That shows that they've invested.
A lot.
I mean, seriously, they invested enough in the other characters to make even a Harley fan go, I don't care about this Harley, but man, I actually like the other characters enough.
Like I'll give it a shot, absolutely. Yeah. But I couldn't even pinpoint what I didn't like about her. That's like the weird thing. It's just something was off.
Walt's calling you out. He says that he's older than you and he still plays video games.
Yeah, but you don't use your noggin and play board games, old man, because it's just mush.
How we play some wrestling cards and dice?
That's right, exactly.
All right. Well, my impression is that once again, the people who create these video games do it better than Hollywood. The look of these characters are super great. The banter between these characters are super great. How can you not love the dialogue in this thing? I would love to see maybe an hour and a half of this, a digital version of this movie. I mean, the game would probably be a lot of fun. It is a Rocksteady game. It's done by the same people who did Arkham Asylum and also that Gotham Knights thing that we just looked at. So it's probably the gameplay is probably going to be similar to those. Anyway, I'm probably more interested in this game than I am Gotham Knights, and I'm interested in Gotham Knights. So when Shawn gets the game, I'll play it instead of just watching him. That's kind of my thoughts on that subject.
Shawn, you better stream it so I can watch it too.
Yeah, well,
we've been talking about that.
We've got a Twitch account now, so
we do. We're talking about we just haven't figured out how to do it, but that is
I can help you with that.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. We are very serious because we play video games all the time, and we could stream that. I think it would be fun. Well, I mean, you do love Rocket League. You could certainly play it on there. Before we get out of this segment, do you guys want to talk about Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton? Let's hold off on that because we might actually get into that subject coming up in our next deal. Does anyone else want to say anything about Suicide Squad?
No, we covered it. I mean, that's cool.
I'm just holding my breath till they actually release gameplay.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair, totally. And yet again, another next generation game probably looked pretty good. All right, we do have one last little cut, and here it is. Oh, by the way, there's no sound on this because the trailer that we got from the Justice League Snyder cut has a song on it, and I just don't think we're going to get away with playing that song. So anyway, here it is.
I can hum it. Like, don't leave me. I'm a bad guy. Look at me. I'm ugly, but I got a mask. I'm a robot.
I'm a Terminator ripoff. Sorry. I probably just offended a lot of people.
Hey,
My oh my.
The trailer of this and the song, if you haven't watched this, I feel really stupid talking about this because this movie's
We
already
sure
been
can,
out.
Walt.
I mean, we've seen this movie. This has been our favorite Batman. All three of us at least agree.
Yeah.
And we said the movie was okay, but we find ourselves enjoying watching it more and more once we kind of relax and take our nerd walls down. The trailer of this and the Hallelujah song that they're playing in the background is just amazing. I mean, it really is amazing. And it's enough that it looks just like a brand new stinking movie. And this might get me to do the trial run of HBO Max. That's for sure. If you get 1 month free or something.
No, you can use my account. I got you.
All right. You got me. I'm going to take you up on that.
It is a new movie because the original movie clocked in right at 2 hours. This is going to be 4 hours long.
Wow.
And it's not using any of the Joss Whedon footage, which means a lot of the scenes and a lot of the ha-ha and a lot of the color grading that was jacked up in the Justice League movie will be changed. Who wants to go next? Let's go to Shawn.
Hi, I'm Shawn. My voice is not
Oh, we're going over again. We're doing voiceover.
I'm muted.
All right, he's muted.
I don't know
what
one of the
happened
things
there.
I wanted to. I think I hit my button.
Oh.
One of the things that I wanted to point out in this trailer is all of this is new footage. Everything in this trailer is new.
Okay,
footage.
so it is a new movie then.
It's kind of a new movie, dude.
the overall story might be this. Well, I can't even say it's the same because Zack Snyder had a specific vision for this movie. He had a family situation, which I'm not going to get into, occur that he felt he needed to step away from the film. It was then turned over to Joss Whedon to finish, and between Joss Whedon and the studio, they took it in a whole different direction. So this is getting back to Snyder's original vision for the movie. And he had a totally different idea for how the movie would go, how the characters would develop in the movie, and how there was so much more to this that Zack Snyder had originally envisioned, that we were basically going to get a totally different film.
Yeah.
And that's exciting. That's terrifying. I've heard a lot of people talk about how this is a horrible precedent, but is it really? Because it wasn't the movie that he was originally making, and he wasn't able to finish it, not through any fault of his own, but because of situations beyond his control. And for him to be able to actually put forth the movie that he wanted, God bless you. I mean, heck, George Lucas went back and changed the original trilogy, and everybody
so many times. He's still changing it.
He would love to change
it right now.
Yeah, he would love to do something.
So I look at it as kind of the same thing. It's not what I would have originally wanted, but I'm looking forward to seeing what it is he has planned for it. I think it's going to be. It's going to be an amazing shift of what it was as opposed to what it should have been.
Yeah, CaseyJane, you're up.
This is the one thing I didn't watch because I didn't want to spoil anything for myself.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know it hasn't been footage that's been like in movies prior, but just if I didn't want to spoil anything for myself because I do plan on watching them all. Sorry, don't hate me.
That's okay. So you are going to watch it. You don't want to spoil it for yourself.
Yes.
All right, I think that's cool. All right, well, I'm going to go.
Only seen Aquaman so far.
I'm going to go to myself then. So, it's nice to see the return of the correct color grading for this film, so that you get that Zack Snyder look again. You get the black suit Superman. That's pretty cool. I think it's obvious that we're going to finally get the backstory that was promised way back in Batman versus Superman of Aquaman of Cyborg, of the Flash, all of these characters. We were supposed to get that developed within the first actually couple of Justice League films. We're at least going to get a little bit of backstory on those characters. I'm very excited about that. We're going to get an extra couple of hours. That's pretty cool. Darkseid looks cool. We got to see Darkseid, even if that is in kind of a fever dream episode or something. We still got to see him. I don't know if this is going to be the end all film that it could have been if Snyder had been able to herald this from the beginning to the end. But I will say that whatever we're going to get here is going to be fun. It's going to be 4 hours, and I'm really looking forward to it. One other thing that I want to mention to everyone is I think we are beginning. There is a possibility. I'm just throwing this out here. One of the people commented on this a little bit earlier. Is there any possibility at all, do you think, that we may get the DCEU restored to the Snyder version with this deal? Like it will supersede the theatrical version of Justice League. What do you guys think?
No.
No chance.
I think whenever Flashpoint happens, everything is going to get reset no matter what.
That's probably a safe bet right there.
You got Ben Affleck, who during the filming of these movies was going through a lot of personal issues, a lot of substance abuse, I believe, a lot of alcoholism, I think it was.
Yep.
That he didn't feel he could properly continue with the character. He's been going to rehab, I believe. Well, not during the Backstreet Boys reunion, but we
have used that ever since.
I'm so happy.
So he's I don't think that he's ready or willing to get back under the cape and cowl long term.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, that's cool. It saddens me because, as stated earlier in the show, I still feel that he is by far the best Bruce Wayne we've ever had, and I would love to see more of him in that role. But with that being said, I honestly believe that Flashpoint is going to reset everything, and we're gonna head off in a new direction no matter what.
To answer Jennifer's question, it is going to be in 4 1-hour episodes. It's going to be like the Justice League series. So you will have time for bathroom breaks.
That's cool.
If you want to watch it, like as a series or whatever. That's a lot of content.
Well, that also could get them. They could release 1, wait 2 weeks and release 2, and then 3. And then when I sign up for my free month, which I'm not going to now, I'm going to use CaseyJane's. Then I'd have to at least buy it for 2 months. So, anyways, right. I think it's a cool idea.
They won't do it every 2 weeks. It'll be once a week, like on Sunday at 7.
Oh, I forgot you work for Time Warner.
No, but
I'm just teasing.
You think they're going to drag it out so that they can keep you subscribed for a full month?
It's gonna. I promise, it's gonna come out once a week, and then maybe
there's
after
money to
all
be
4
made with a strategy, AT&T is going to do it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's for sure.
I'll buy the Blu-ray.
So, as we're kind of wrapping up this deal here, let's talk just a little bit about DC Fandome. Do you think that it was a success?
From, I guess a Hollywood standpoint and video, electronically, stuff you watch on YouTube, you play on video games, you go to the movies to see. Sure,
right.
It's funny how this has been so much talked about while their books are just drying up. Even some of the comics I read that have been good, they're getting canceled in 3 months. So I don't even know if they're going to get to finish their storylines, because we talked about this in previous episodes.
We did, with
all the cuts and stuff like that. So maybe DC really is just like, we're going to do 100 Batman and Superman books, and we'll just see where we can get stuff to stick elsewhere. So whatever.
Definitely got people excited though.
Yeah, it has got
definitely
people
got the
excited.
attention.
When Marvel came out with their thing, and when Comic-Con came out, it kind of dropped like a dead bird. No one was really talking about either event. It wasn't a big deal. When this stuff dropped, the internet went nuts. So,
well,
I
that
think
shows you that people want some of those DC characters to be like really awesome and butt-kicking characters, and we don't get that too often. I mean, we've talked about it before. There's no excuse that there shouldn't be a new Batman movie every 2 years and a new Superman movie every 2 years. There's no excuse, whether it's animated or live action. Those things should be part of Americana all the time.
On Quora, back in 2016, I said that it was a crime that they didn't have. Where are the Batman movies? How do you not have Batman movies?
Dude, where's the next Aquaman?
Come on.
Aquaman made $1 billion.
I don't know what they're waiting on there.
Scott, why did girls go to see Aquaman?
Because of the hot guy. He was double pretty.
Yes, he was.
So, yeah, they've been dropping the ball for a while.
Hey, Shawn, I'm going to tee you up because you said something the other day. What do you think about next year for DC? Hopefully you'll give me the same quote you said a day or two ago.
I don't remember what my quote was a day or two ago.
Okay, well, you said that maybe next year. You said maybe next year would be the year of DC.
Well, with what they've shown here, yeah, it's possible. With the movies, obviously, Justice League coming out with the Suicide Squad, both the video game and the movie, coming out next year. I believe it's next year. Or no, Suicide Squad's coming. The video game's coming out in 2022. The Arkham Knights is coming out next year. But the Suicide Squad movie, hopefully, by James Gunn, who can do no wrong in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even his trauma films, rock and roll. But
he's come a long way since
he's come a long way. But I think
he's an auteur.
They've got momentum outside of the comics. Hopefully they can wrangle some of that back into their comics,
right?
To help them out. I really hate to see.
I hope so too.
Any of the I want to say the big two, but I mean honestly, Image is up there, and Dark Horse and whatnot are also big studios. I would really hate to see Marvel and DC have to farm out their characters, have to share their stuff. I would love for them to be able to keep that in-house. So if this can drum up any type of momentum for them to keep all that stuff in-house, then absolutely. Let's hope that happens.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about the Black Adam teaser. There's a lot more information from that event, like smaller stuff on the CW books and comics that they mentioned during this thing. Speaking of the comics, Scott just did a review on Prime Reviews. You want to talk about that?
No, I really don't. I was going to talk about that when you tell me what we watched, read, or played.
Oh, okay. Well, we're talking about DC. I thought we can talk about it in a minute. That's cool.
I have a plan, my friend. I have a plan.
All right.
To speak on what Walt just said, my only issue with that was it was all just artwork. There wasn't.
There wasn't enough.
I want to see The Rock in costume,
for sure,
doing something.
Yes,
picking up a building, stomping on a car, punching Shazam in the chest. I don't care what it is.
I mean, we kind of got a moving cartoon.
Yeah, and
there.
We didn't get enough, that's for sure.
I've been excited for Black Adam ever since Dwayne mentioned that he was involved in the project.
Are we on a first name basis now?
Oh yeah. He's coming over for lunch tomorrow.
Golly, I'd let him rock bottom me in a second. I'd be like, do it, I dare you.
That would be wonderful.
That'd be cool.
I would tape that.
And I'd probably get hurt, but that'd be cool. You should tape it.
It would be worth it.
It would
be worth it.
And then he has to do the people's elbow. Yeah, the people's elbow.
I let Roman Reigns spear me, so
hey. Hey-o. All right. On to our next.
Shawn, I don't want to see that.
At that, On that, we're going to go to our next topic.
And they're talking about it, and I say it.
We got to have that music kind of trail over because we're grooving and moving.
You wanted to? Well, unfortunately, I don't know how to do that. Otherwise, I would do that. I'd have it trail off or whatever. But while that music is playing, we can't talk. So
he'll figure it out.
Anyway,
give him some time. He'll figure it out.
I have some. I've had some suggestions on how to do those things, and I'm going to be implementing those. But I had a lot of clips to do tonight, so it just didn't happen. So anyway, we are going to get a little slightly off topic here, but we're going to talk about SummerSlam, which Scott and I watched together. And I know CaseyJane is a big wrestling fan, and that's why I chose this topic. It's also kind of an interesting thing. To set this up, let's go to Scott.
So this weekend, starting last Friday on SmackDown, if you've ever watched pro wrestling before, you know the live crowd is like what you need. It's the fuel for the good guys and the bad guys. If you're a bad guy, you want to get booed, you want a reaction. That's the only way you get to keep your job. With the the disease that has no name or the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, there hasn't been people in the crowd. So what they've been doing lately, first they did WrestleMania with no crowd whatsoever. It was just guys and cameramen, and that's it. And then they started a company called A&E or AEW, not A&E, AEW, All Elite Wrestling. They started putting some of their own talent outside of the ring. So while it looked goofy to have like 30 guys sitting around drinking a beer and clapping, it still was enough noise to you got the reaction. The bad guys, of course, cheered for the bad guys and the good guys for the good guys. WWE took upon this and they took their talent. Since they're doing everything down in their performance center in Florida, they stuck their talent out there. So you see a bunch of like young men and women who are in shape out there clapping and doing things and everything else. They've taken it to a new level. And this is crazy. I know you're going to hear me talk about this and then you're going to just think I'm nuts. Go check it out, because what they did is they rented like the Amway Center or something like that. I don't remember the exact detail, but a normal. What's that?
They're at Full Sail.
Well, they weren't at Full Sail for the actual pay-per-view on SummerSlam. They did Full Sail for the NXT pay-per-view, and then for the SummerSlam, they rented out a big normal arena that like they always do their big shows in. So now when the wrestlers come out and walk down the ramp, it has that big-time feel of something special. Crazy Vince McMahon or somebody inside the company talked Vince into putting screens all throughout the stadium. And I mean, like, you can kind of do the math and really quick just think about it. There's got to be at least 750, well, maybe not individual screens, but they're like TV screens that host like 6 to 8 people, just like you're watching now. So if I was in the crowd and they took applications, you had to fill out this application saying like, you're not going to flash anybody, you're not going to give the bird, you're not going to do this or that, or they could get onto you, even though some people did. And I guess from what I've read, they've talked to those people that were watching, and they would tell you, like, make sure you boo this guy. So that's when you see people go boo and clap because this is a good guy, and stuff like that. So they made like a virtual crowd. It looked like something out of like video games, where you have the characters just going,
right.
As they're rooting for somebody, there was people there. And of course, some people took upon themselves to put up signs like Fire Velveteen Dream, because he's been into some legal trouble. And immediately, as soon as we saw that for a glimpse, a quick second, and then that screen went blank, and that person got booted. I mean, they were out of the system, so they had people watching these people. Another guy put up a picture of Chris Benoit, and you can go find out stuff about him. So it looked like Chris Benoit was watching wrestling in the front row. He was like,
yeah, it was the last picture of him as well.
And
wow.
That guy got booted. So it's very interesting the link that they went to. So now on SmackDown, I was telling Dirk this, that on SmackDown, they had all the faces, but you really didn't hear much noise. By SummerSlam, it seems like they piped in some fake noise, which like, yeah, we don't want to hear fake noise, but at the same time, we used to watch, comedies all the time that had that canned laughter in there, and at least made it better. And they did a real good job with that. So you saw the fan interactions, and even some screens had like a father holding up his child going, look, look, Katie, you're on camera and stuff. So it did make it feel like a really big event, and it was way better than having just 30 talents out there cheering. Now, what I think they should do is have the cameras out there and the 30 people clapping and screaming and stuff as well. I think they should do both, because it's just enough to kind of like let you separate and get into wrestling, and you can enjoy the crowd. It was very innovative. It was very neat, and it had to be super expensive. If you could imagine the network to control all these individual screens and then really to watch people. Like, I was waiting for the one, pair of boobs to fly up or somebody's butt crack, but I never got to see that. And I'm sure it did at some point, but I follow enough wrestling dirt sheets and stuff, behind the scenes stuff, that nothing like that was reported. So there was like 3 incidences, and I told you 2 of them. So anyways, it was pretty cool. I mean, it's better than no crowd at all. So hats off to WWE for trying something different. And I think it really worked on SummerSlam. I mean, like, we knew that they was performing in front of the robot audience, but it was better than no audience, right? I mean, it still felt big, right?
It definitely did. It was cool.
And I'll let you two speak on it now, because I've said my piece.
Yeah, let's go to Casey Jane.
So it was definitely cool. I also saw it when they did it on SmackDown prior. What I don't understand, though, is I don't understand why they don't do like a delay so people can see what happens before they put it on air.
Right.
Like, I feel like a 5-6 second delay to negate like the Chris Benoit incident,
right?
Or just like people falling asleep was a big thing too, and
right.
They have it saying that. So the rules say, because I got the email for it, is only 1 person allowed per camera, so you can't have someone next to you watching.
Right.
Okay.
You can't wear any AEW attire.
That's a rival company.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, so you can't wear any AEW. You have to be awake. You can't swear, and if you get caught swearing, that you can possibly be like, you can get the FCC fine.
Wow.
It says it in there that you are responsible for the fine if they get fined because of you swearing.
How did you get the application, Casey Jane?
I signed up for it.
Okay, was it on the website?
So I got it through I showed it on Facebook, and then it takes you to the website, and then you can sign in. It just takes like your name and email. You have to agree to it. And then, so the day of the show, they email you and they send you a link, and you can only use the link once. So if you accidentally click it, you're out.
Huh.
It's
Wow.
a one-time thing. And you have to like agree to all these things. So I think like they should have like a 5-6 second delay, just something like they do on radio.
Yeah.
Just to like, so you don't show this. And also they rotate people. So you're only guaranteed like maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have more reaction, then you can get more screen time.
Yep.
Okay. We noticed that the front crowd people that you saw during the matches seemed to
changed.
be changing.
Yeah, they rotate.
Okay.
But
Well,
I think it's cool though.
Can I give you some kudos for bringing some research to the show, Casey J? I mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean, she had some information that we didn't have there. That's pretty awesome.
Yep. And then, so if you do any of those things, you get banned. You get shadow banned, your name and your email, and IP, I think, possibly get banned, so you can never enter it again.
Yeah, you only get one shot if you're going to do something crazy. So make
Vince McMahon doesn't play around.
Some
If
people
we know
got
anything.
some stuff past the censors or whatever it is.
Oh,
that they have.
absolutely. Because people are going to test it. They're going to see how far they
Of course, they don't care. I think it's interesting that they're threatening an FCC fine.
But I think it was like a crazy ballsy move for. I mean, I guess the chairman Vince McMahon had to officially sign off on that, and
You got to give it.
it looked like a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and
Vince has more money than
The NBA has been doing something similar with the televised crowd in the backdrop.
Okay, so they got it from that probably.
Probably.
Okay,
but it sounds like what the WWE did was a bit more advanced. In the NBA, I believe it's you've got one screen on behind the one team's bench. You've got another screen behind another team's bench, and then you've got one on each end of the court. and I don't know how many camera views there are per screen. There, let's say 30.
30, I'd say that's about right.
So, they do the same thing. They pipe through the different fans. You have to sign up through the team. I believe the team website.
So it's actually like Thunder fans that are there for the Thunder games.
Whoever has home court,
right?
Those are the fans that are in the stands of the faux stands of the NBA. It was interesting, but like I said, I think what the WWE did was quite a bit more advanced by filling the arena in the way that they did. It looked really.
I mean, I've seen both, and I will tell you this: that the Thunderdome is 10 times what the NBA is doing. Because I mean, we did a little quick math. There may be some stories on this, but we figured there were probably 1,000 people that were in the stands, for this event. And that means I want you to think about this for just a minute. This is a Zoom call with 1,000 people that they had to project on, I don't know how many different screens. I mean, it was a lot of screens that went up into the rafters. I've never seen anything quite like this. It is the NBA thing taken to the nth degree. There is no place else to go besides doing what Scott said, which is to put some literal people around the ring to kind of get that, that in presence feel. But as far as having virtual people in the crowd, it doesn't get any better than this. I don't know how much money they spent on this, but it was a small fortune to make this thing happen. And in one case, it's kind of soulless, and in another case, it's kind of sad. But on the other hand, it's the best you're going to get. If you want to explore this virtual fan thing, it doesn't get any better than what the WWE is doing right now. They spent the money. Visually, it's spectacular. It's in an actual arena, so when the people come out, you've got the lights and all of the activity. It's as good as this is going to get without, in 100 years, maybe they have hologram technology or something. But but right now, it doesn't get any better than this.
It had the big arena feel. And even at the end, if you haven't watched SummerSlam, it's the return of Roman Reigns with his crazy fixed teeth, his perfect smile now.
He has
like a Joker
pretty
smile.
Spectacular choppers.
Oh my gosh. He's like, I need teeth. And they're like,
it
your
was
teeth
pretty
are fine.
exciting to see him back again.
But he came out through the crowd, which you really can't do at that little small performance center. But with the big arena, you can have that, and it looks amazing. So it was cool. I'm glad and looking forward to see more. And frankly, SummerSlam was one of the better shows they've done in a long, 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 long time.
It had some good matches. This is the first pay-per-view I've seen in 20 years.
One of the things about the WWE is they seem to be innovative with some of their technologies.
Yes.
Football abducted their Skycam. I've got a feeling that basketball is going to steal this new track cam.
They outdid the NBA, no doubt about it.
And I'm really curious what this technology, filling an arena with screens, how is this going to change, or how is this going to be implemented in other sports, not just the WWE, but is this going to be, is this how people are going to watch football or arena football as opposed to, the NFL? Is this going to be applied to, World Series poker, or how are they going to use this elsewhere?
Probably at least 6 more months of at the least. You've got 6 more months of this is your option. You either do this or you're playing in an empty arena.
Yeah, that's a minimum.
But
even that's being really generous.
At some point, people are just going to say to hell with it, and they're going to start filling up the arenas, and this is going to fade, but it won't go away. And I'm curious where it's going to go and how it's going to advance and what doors it's going to open. Are we going to see Blood Bowl tournaments now with crowds of people, watching via whatever the Zoom call. How is this going to expand content that is then released onto streaming services or the internet, whatever? How is this going to be implemented beyond what we've seen?
Right. In typical fashion, Gigi wants us to talk about a subject that's going to take another 4 hours to cover.
Scott needs to tell the Under Faker story we saw in OKC at the live show. Okay, well, we'll save that for another.
It's going to have to be another topic sometime.
Yeah.
Am I going to be upset by this, Scott?
No, it's more fan reaction. It's less funny unless you were there. I mean, if you were there, it's kind of funny, but like, it's a non-story.
Okay.
Walt says the NBA is just on the floor in the court. It's not impressive. Certainly not like what the WWE is. And Michael is kind of giving us a whole other subject too about does anyone want to chime in on Roman Reigns?
I think I'll sum it up really quick and say, like, I'm pretty sure Roman Reigns is actually a genuine good guy who's just doing his job and doing what he's told. And yes, I think people got sick of him getting shoved down our throats, but I think a lot of characters over the last 4 years have been done that way.
CaseyJane disagrees.
Well, I understand that. That's fine. I told Dirk as soon as CaseyJane, I'm going to tell you something here, and you tell me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Roman Reigns is a handsome man who's really built. Take him out of the security guard outfit and let the guy be an attractive man.
No.
Really? You want him to look like a rent-a-cop?
No, I loved the Shield. I was a huge Shield fan.
Okay.
Oh, no, I loved him in the Shield. I loved him as a general.
You're wrong. I'm sorry. You're wrong.
No, you're wrong. I'm a woman. I'm never wrong. Watch your tongue.
Look, I'm a handsome man, and I want to see the guy without his shirt off because he's in prison.
I mean, don't you're wrong. I loved him in the Shield days as well.
You're totally wrong. He's going to sell way more shirts. Act like you got a real job.
Shirtless plenty, I promise you.
Roman Reigns, act like you have a real job. You're not a mall cop anymore. Be a pro wrestler and go be a big superhero.
Just fine.
Okay, I'm going back to CaseyJane. Say your piece about what do you think about
fight Scott right now. No, they were great in the Shield. I love them. When Seth Rollins broke up the Shield, I cried my eyes out. It was awful. I love him with the Shield. I love him individually. He can leave the vest on.
She loves him on a plane. She loves him on a train.
Exactly.
You love his new teeth?
Yes.
All right.
However, follow him on Instagram. You'll see him shirtless enough. It's fine. You'll be fine. Build character.
Right. That's all I want. Shirtless Roman Reigns.
Wow. You get on to us for having man crushes on Carl Urban.
I just want to point out that the two of them
are arguing over in this area here. Let's see.
Over here.
I'll bring Roman right next to me right now. And Undertaker's right there. I'll bring him with me too.
They're both arguing over Roman Reigns with or without clothing.
That's what we're talking about here. This is.
I'm trying to make Roman Reigns money. I tried to say he's probably a nice guy.
No,
I mean, sure, he's a nice guy who's just doing his job. All those guys have to do whatever Vince says.
He wants him to get naked. I just want to point that out.
He was naked down in FCW. He should be up in WWE.
He was.
Gigi says she's more pissed than when I crapped on manga. Well done, Spice Lord.
I'm the Spicy King.
Holy cats.
I take two people very seriously, and that's Roman Reigns and The Undertaker.
Oh my gosh.
Very seriously.
Oh my gosh. I bet your universe broke when they had to face each other. Somebody has to lose.
I cried. There's a video of me on my Twitter crying my eyes out.
Walt,
when that got announced.
I talked to Scott about bringing back Ring Rust this weekend, and he already has too much to do, but I'm telling you right now, Ring Rust would be awesome.
We can't do Ring Rust. That was an old show from way back when. Somebody else took over the name, and now there's a Ring Rust Radio on Twitter. I just saw it like seconds ago, and I'm like complaining, like, why didn't we keep that property?
We should have. We should have hung on to it. But anyway, I'm all for doing it. Maybe maybe if we can monetize this thing, then we can have Scott quit his job and he'll have enough time to do
I think that's what it's
going
to take. I give you guys enough of my time. I'm a wanted man.
Wow. Wowzers. All right. So coming on next.
I'm just jamming. Oh, good.
Baby.
Scott is too.
Yeah, baby. We're bringing you the hits. It's one after the other. Okay, we're on blast here. This is our old segment that we used to call "What Are You Watching or Reading" or whatever. We're going to go first on that to Shawn.
Actually, I'm not really watching or reading anything lately. I've been focusing more on doing some artwork. Haven't really had a moment to just sit down and watch anything. I did watch a couple episodes more of The Boys. I think I'm only too shy now of finishing up the season.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've really just been focusing on working on artwork, and yeah, I've been lacking
All right.
other media.
Okay, we're going to CaseyJane. Midnight Sun. There it is.
Isn't that by the same sparkly vampire lady?
Yep, Stephanie Meyer.
Oh, okay.
This is Twilight, but from Edward's perspective,
Oh.
and it was amazing.
So you read the whole thing?
I read the whole thing in about 4 days.
Oh my gosh!
Since release day.
You're a quick. How many pages is that thing? It looks like a Bible.
Yeah, it's a
1,200.
This isn't as big as my Bible. 658. I'm Catholic. Don't judge me. I have a Bible.
That's quite a bit.
658.
Shawn needs a Bible, so don't judge him.
I have a Bible. It's massive. I love that thing.
But so I finished reading that, so it was really good. And watching is I've been watching my Marvel movies. What am I up to now? We already finished the first Avengers and Iron Man 3. So I think next is Thor again. I think Thor is next.
So you're going through the whole.
We're doing
Marvel.
Chronological.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're doing it like in universe chronological. So I'm in phase 2, I believe it is.
Okay.
Yes.
And what do you think so
after
far?
the Avengers? Yeah.
I think it's good. There's some that are better than the other. I was not the biggest fan of the
True.
Hulk.
All right.
I wasn't a big fan of the
I've
Hulk.
heard that.
I personally love Iron Man. I love Tony Stark. My boyfriend hates the fact that I love Tony Stark because he can't stand him. But that's
He's an
fine.
alcoholic. He's an alcoholic.
Well,
He's a cat fan.
He is in the comics. Was he an alcoholic in the movies? I don't know.
No.
No. I've never read a comic, but so I'm just going through Marvel right now, and then we'll work our way to DC, and then we can have these conversations all over again when I know what I'm watching.
Awesome. You're going to be.
You have 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks.
Watch them all.
Yeah, but school is starting next week, so about that.
Priorities.
All right, we're going to Scott.
All right, so I got my crown on. Yeah, I'm the spicy king. So as Dirk alluded to earlier, if you want to know more about Batman the Three Jokers, I did a review for Taskforce Geek channel.
How about
so
that?
You can, and I'm not going to tell you anything else besides like you should just go watch it. You know, give me 6 minutes of your time. I'll tell you if you should read this or not, especially if you were a fan of The Killing Joke back in the day. Also, just kind of I didn't want to really do a review of this, but this is a Savage Dragon 251. And while it's still Eric Larson plodding away by writing, drawing, inking, doing it all, it's pretty incredible that there's a creator that has been doing the same comic now for nearly 30 years. Savage, he's trying to break that record of 300 plus issues done by one creator, and he's on
for
he really wants to break that record, and I think he's going. Savage Dragon doesn't have a ton of sales. It is one of the few comics I know of that is set in real time, so characters age. Characters that were 24 years old when they were first introduced are now like 50-year-olds. And, people come and go just like you would think. And the Savage Dragon's like a legacy character. It went through the first character, and then he's no longer with us. And then his son is the new Savage Dragon character. So it is, I'd say that also the last like 5 years, Eric Larson has like kind of pushed the levels with, I would say at times this thing is rated R or NC-17, and at other times you can have an issue with that's just a PG issue. So it's kind of crazy the stuff he tries and challenges himself. And I just kind of wanted to give him props because he's still doing it. And at times you'll pick up an issue and it might have the same like page layout all throughout it. So as an artist, he'll tell you in the back of the book, like I read an issue of Legion of Superheroes that I really liked, and I wanted to challenge myself to do that same thing that they did or something. That's probably a bad example, but that's what he tries to do quite often. So even at being an old comic veteran of Eric Larson, he is continually trying to push himself, and he could always use your sales. So if you want to try a book and see if you like it, I'd say go try some Savage Dragon.
Cool. I don't really have a lot I've been busy too. I have been watching an animated feature from FX called Dicktown, which is did we lose Little Miss Fury?
No, she's here.
Oh,
she's
okay.
Here.
I lost her. Anyway, the show is called Dicktown. I'm actually watching it on Hulu. And
could you spell that for me?
It's Dicktown.
Okay, I don't want to get in trouble when I look this up. So
no,
this is on you. If my kids yell at me for watching some weird.
It's about two older guys that do deals for like teenagers and stuff in high school. It's very strange. It's a bunch of boomer jokes and a bunch of kind of older generation versus younger generation type stuff.
Okay,
so it's for your age group.
It has a lot of attitude. It's pretty funny. I enjoy it. So anyway, if you want to check it out, it's on FX or I'm watching it actually on Hulu.
Okay, cool.
That's what I got, guys.
Awesome, awesome, man.
And finally, it's promo time. So let's first go to CaseyJane.
Hi, so you can find me on twitch.tv/Little Miss Fury, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Same thing, Little Miss Fury.
Little Miss Fury is the magic number, folks.
Sure.
All right. Let's go to Shawn.
Nothing really to promote at the moment. Just been working on a bit of artwork. Hopefully, as soon as I get anything finished, it'll be up on the website, rankingstudios.com, as well as posted on Facebook, Ranking Studios, as well as probably here on Taskforce Geek.
Yeah.
Just take a look at all of our little areas and keep up to date with what we're doing and any progress that we have. Once I get to a point, then I'll be working on the website again and filling that with artwork, hopefully. And yeah, there you go.
All right, Scott, you're up.
All right. We just released a new episode. Excuse me. New episode of Both Down. We just got a preview copy of the new board game Blitz Bowl Season 2. So we got it like a month early, folks. So like we're kind of special in the Blood Bowl world. So we got to do an unboxing of it. We got to talk about it to the fans. It just released late last night. So if you want to find us, you go over to bothdown.com.
So what's the intersection between Blitz Bowl and Blood Bowl?
Blitz Bowl, what I tell people is a lot of people think it's an introduction to Blood Bowl. Like, oh, if I buy this Blitz Bowl game, I can play Blood Bowl. No, they use a lot of the same terminology. It's set in the same universe, but Blitz Bowl is take the theme of Blood Bowl and turn it into more of a board game, while Blood Bowl is a fantasy sports role-playing campaign. Okay? So Blitz Bowl, you can sit down with a board gamer and you're not necessarily scoring touchdowns to win. You're doing achievements. So it could be like, the achievement could be like, you get 3 points if you can throw a long pass. And if you try to do this long pass, you get 3 points. And the scores are more like basketball scores. So I could beat you 23-22 over a series of turns. Whereas Blood Bowl, a high scoring game, would be 3-2. So it's totally different. And it even says that it's not the same. Getting into it really quick, in Blood Bowl, their version of the draft is called the Crush. That's where you go and you fight. You try to go do fancy things, so teams pick you up and hire you to go come play on their Blood Bowl team. This board game is set during the Crush, and that's why you're trying to just unlock achievements to score points. It is a very fun game. It's actually fairly strategic. We played it with the guys from Sweden who really kind of dissect these games for strategy, and like it's pretty cool. It's enough different that you'd like to own both if you're even a fan remotely of these games, and it's different enough where like somebody might not like Blood Bowl but they love Blitz Bowl, so it's gotten to a different market and stuff. And these are sold only exclusively at Barnes and Noble, so they're really going after the board gamer versus like the hobby miniature war gamer type player.
So you got an advanced copy of this? Yes.
Yeah, we got cool. We got a special kind of deal through Games Workshop relationship. So we got an advanced copy of this. We were pretty happy because we've been working on that ever since we started the podcast, 9 years ago, and it's starting to kind of pay off and stuff. So I think they're recognizing that we reach a lot of fans and stuff. So here we are.
Sure.
So
for sure.
You can catch me at Both Down, and you can catch me on Facebook. So.
All right. The only thing that I'd want to say is check out my Facebook page, Dark Hooper Artworks. I'd like to see you on there. And I really want to push the Task Force Geek Facebook group. I really, really enjoy all the interaction on there. We continue to get more. I mean, everyone is on there and contributing stuff and commenting to each other, and it's a lot of fun. So if you enjoy what we're talking about on here, get on the Task Force Geek Facebook group. I don't have the link to it there, so figure it out. All right. Does anyone have anything that they want to add here, or should I take us home?
No, I real quick, if you're watching out there, feedback. Let us know what you think. Even today, we posted that the new Blood Bowl podcast where we talked about Blitz Bowl. We had a comment that said, "I tried listening to you guys several times. You're not for me. You don't have that spark." And I finally was like, "Well, thank you for listening." Right. And at least give us feedback. That's the only way we know we can improve. And this person didn't really have great feedback for us. It was just like, "I don't like your voices." So it's like, I can't help you. I can't help you there, right?
Not much you can do there.
Constructive criticism is always welcomed.
So that's the only way we improve. Maybe you like this segment, let us know. You don't like this segment, let us know. And we know we're not for everybody, but feedback's always good. And like I told this person, on Facebook, I was like, I do appreciate you giving us a few episodes to try it out. And I'm sorry we didn't fit you, So it happens, and the numbers are growing. So continue to hit subscribe and like, and even comment, because those comments help too, especially on these little side projects of me trying to do these comic reviews and stuff. It's pretty fun to see an occasional comment. So we appreciate you guys, because we finally got to that big link that we've been wanting to do for a while. And we'll continue to try to improve as long as we can get some feedback and some love. And hopefully
our next goal is 1,000, because that we get a lot of extra special powers when we hit 1,000. So we need 10 times what we have right now. So tell your friends. And,
I need powers.
That's right. We need special powers, folks.
Can I add something?
Sure. Yes.
So another thing is going on with the feedback. You guys have any ideas for different segments or topics? I know we always mention it, but you can always email them at taskforcegeek@gmail.com.
Excellent.
And just any ideas that you have that you think could improve it. They could just try it out. Like, doesn't hurt to give ideas.
No.
Email what you want to see.
Yeah,
for sure.
More of or less of, or something that we're not doing. Yeah, absolutely. Taskforcegeek@gmail.com. I don't have that up because I'm about to go do some other things here.
Sorry. Sorry if I ruined
it. No, you were right on target. Right on target. We got a couple of things here. Oh my gosh. Gigi says Shawn is incredible. More time for him and the elusive Sassy, but the whole crew is wonderful. And Maxine says that she enjoys the show. Thank you, Maxine. We appreciate that sincerely. Anything else that anyone wants to say?
I've said enough. Roman Reigns has to take off his shirt.
Thanks to everyone for watching this. Please leave a like and share. Don't just hear this. Please leave a like and share wherever you see this. It makes a huge difference. For Shawn, Scott, and CaseyJane, this is Dirk Hooper saying dream hard.